Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 21 entitled Wronged. So, there's a question we all have to answer at some point or another. And if we don't answer it directly, time is going to answer it for us. And the question is love worth it? Is love worth the risk of being authentic, vulnerable, and letting someone know how you truly feel, of showing up and showing who you truly are and asking somebody to love who you truly are? Is that worth it? Is Tennyson right? Is it better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? Well, there's a man I once knew. Let's call him Joe. Joe was Mr. All American, handsome, athletic, generous, and an all around A plus guy. When he was 19, he was head over heels in love, and he was dating this girl, and she was it, right? Like, she was it for him. And he discovered sometime into their relationship that she had cheated on him with literally every single one of his friends except his best friend. Now, Joe didn't tell anyone, but the whole experience convinced him. He may not have even been conscious of it himself, but the whole experience convinced him that trying to love again, it wasn't worth the risk. It was going to hurt too much. He convinced himself that being hurt again was inevitable, so he never seriously dated again. He never got married, he never had kids, he never lived that life. And he never sought another friend ever again outside of his best friend. He was really wrong, and it hurt like hell. So he bowed out. There's this great scene in the Chronicles of Narnia, in one of the books, and it's one of the first books. It's where one of the main characters, Susan, is speaking with a beaver about meeting Aslan, the lion and Christ figure, in the books. And she asks, a lion, like, is he safe? And the beaver replies, who said anything about safe? Of course he isn't safe, but he's good. He's the king, I tell you. And in this context, the same logic applies. We can trade Aslan for love. Is love safe? No. Of course love isn't safe, but it's good and it's worth it, I tell you. To love, to give yourself for the sake of another, to try and lead a good and noble life, to follow Jesus, is you setting yourself up, leaving yourself up to the vulnerability of being wronged. So the vulnerability of being used, of being manipulated, of being hurt. And the call of a life with Jesus is a call to love, to sacrifice, to give, to be faithful anyway. There's another scene in the Chronicles of Narnia where another one of the main characters, Peter, who's the High King of Narnia, he's about to do battle. And C.S. Lewis writes this about Peter. He says, Peter did not feel very brave. Indeed, he felt he was going to be sick, but that made no difference to what he had to do. Sometimes life gets crazy and it gets scary, and the prospects of being wrong or dealing with actually being wronged, it can be brutal. It can be so painful, painful beyond your imagination, but it makes no difference to what we must do. Love remains the calling regardless of the consequences, regardless of the potentiality of being wronged in such a way that it absolutely breaks our heart. So, from the fear of being wronged, deliver me, Jesus.